Hello students, today's agenda is that we're going to be learning about complementary and supplementary angles, and you will be able to work on 7.3. Today students will be able to find measurements of complementary and supplementary angles. So let's start by getting some definitions. And so complementary angles are angles whose sum equals 90 degrees. What does that mean? That when you have two or more angles, if you add them, then they should equal to 90 degrees. So in here, we have this angle, which this little marking, which is a tiny square, that represents that this bigger angle is a total of 90 degrees. And so that means that x plus 41 is equals to 90 degrees. And so those are a pair of complementary angles. So we're going to find in here x plus 41 equals 90 degrees. We subtract 41 from both sides. And so the value of x, or meaning the measurement of that angle, is equals to, we borrow, and 10 minus 1 is 9, 8 minus 4 is 4. So this angle here is 49 degrees, okay? Sometimes they're going to be attached to each other or adjacent to each other, but sometimes they will not, okay? And so these are also complementary. I'm just going to put x plus 54 equals 90 degrees. And so I'm going to subtract 54 from both sides. And the markings, you can just put them or not. It's up to you. Just know that the final angle is equals, it's degrees, okay? So it's in degrees. So again, we borrow, it's 8. 10 minus 4 is 6. 8 minus 5 is 3, so x is equals to 36 degrees. Okay, so that's how you find complementary angles. Again, it's not when you have only one angle, so this will not be a complementary angle if it's only one angle and it's 90 degrees alone, okay? It's two or more together, the sum of them. This is just called a right angle. Right angle. And in here, when you have two or more and they add up to 90 degrees, then that's when they're complementary. Okay, next, we're going to learn about supplementary angles. And supplementary angles are similar, but these angles is angles whose sum equals 180. And so similar to like we have the right angle, we have what it's called the straight angle. And the straight angle is equals to 180 degrees. Okay, it's like saying, because some people got confused with that. So it's like saying this is 0 degrees, but then it starts opening, and then when it's straight, that's a straight angle, which is 180 degrees, okay? So this is with the vertex right there. So this is a straight angle, but then these two are a pair of supplementary angles. And so we say that x plus 21 is equals to 180 degrees. So we subtract, if we're adding, the opposite of adding is subtracting 21 from both sides. And so x is equals to, again, make sure you borrow, because somebody was telling me it was 169, because I think they subtracted the 20 from the 180, which is 160, but then 0 minus 1 is 9, so they put 100. So be careful about that. So in here, I'm going to borrow. This becomes a 7, and that becomes a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 7 minus 2 is 5. And then you just bring down the 1. So x is equals to 159. Okay, for the next one, again, this one is not over a straight angle or a straight angle cut into two different angles, but rather there are two separate angles and they just tell us that they're supplementary. So again, it's going to be x plus 140 is equals to 180. We subtract 140. Again, you don't have to worry so much about the little circle for degrees until the end. And so 180 minus 140 is 40 degrees. And so x equals 40 degrees. Okay? Again, together they add up to 180. So remember, complementary comes first in the alphabet. C is for 90 degrees. And then supplementary is like Superman. Woo. Okay, so that's the one that has 180 degrees. Maybe you can come up with your own way of remembering. Okay, for the last one, this is more about identifying angles that are either supplementary or complementary. Let me see if I can make it a little smaller. So you have this diagram with different angles formed in here, and so they're asking for pairs of angles. Be careful. In class, some people were telling me that when it came down to complementary, oh, it's T and S. Remember, that's just a right angle, is not complementary angles. Okay, remember that complementary and supplementary, it's always plural because it's two or more angles. And so in here it says, name a pair of supplementary angles. That means two or more angles that together add up to 180 degrees. One thing that I want to share with you, whoops, I'm sorry about that. So whenever you have two lines and one of them is marked with this symbol of 90 degrees, we can say that the two lines are perpendicular. And if one is marked, automatically we need to know that all four angles are 90 degrees. So having that in mind, if this one is marked, that means that this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees, this is 90 degrees. Okay, so just have that in mind. So it says name a pair of supplementary angles. We can say angle TNS and angle, so TNS refers to this angle right here, opening that way. And that is supplementary to, basically, since we all know that that's all 90 degrees, any of these other angles that are 90 degrees are a supplement to this angle. But just to make sure, we're just going to put the one right next to it. So angle T and P. Now remember that the vertex always goes in the middle, okay? You cannot say angle TPN, okay? Because then you are going to be forming a new angle that does not exist in there. Okay, the vertex of the angle always goes in the middle. So that's one pair, but you can always form another one. This is supplement to this one, or this angle is supplementary to this one, okay? Because both are 90 degrees. But I'm just going to give that example right there. For the next one, it says name a pair of complementary angles. So complementary means total of 90 degrees together. So the only ones that I see that are equal to 90 degrees together are these two angles. So remember, name them by the vertex in the middle. So it's going to be angle SNR and angle RNQ. If you want to name it as Q and R instead of R and Q, that's fine. Or instead of S and R, you want to name it R and S, that's fine. As long as you leave the vertex in the middle, that's okay. So this is it for for 7.3. So you're able to do that assignment and have fun, and remember to love math because math loves you.